Going for two, kickers are extra, I give them the boot. Ooh, going for two, sit back, relax while I grab me a brew. Ooh, now I'm reclining while putting my time and I'm ready to go. My spine is aligning and much my lineups, my bank account grow. I am so rich, but knowledge is all that I'm leaving it with. Ooh, listen to this, multiple options, how far can I get? Ooh, DFS Dynasty redraft tonight, I'm not finishing last. I'm finishing past any and all, I am looking to last. What else? This spot is popping and I am so locked in and only opening the door when it is opportunity knocking. And all of these spots keep on talking and talking. So what are we talking? What kind of alignment? And running it deep, even players forgotten or came from the bottom or hitting that top. And this spot is popping, yeah, this spot is popping. And woo! This is the Armchair, yeah. Put up your arms, yeah. Sound the alarm, yeah, yeah, yeah. Woo! This is the Armchair, yeah. Put up your arms, yeah. Sound the alarm, yeah, yeah, yeah. Woo!
What is going on, guys, and welcome to episode 212 of the Armchair Fantasy Show. I'm your host, of course, Jeff Lambert, and I am back from a 3-week hiatus. We got some awesome shows on tap here. Ryan did the show 2 weeks ago. We didn't have a show last week. Ryan was on vacation, and I was still on my little mini break here. So it's good to be back in the studio. A little unorganized before the show here, but we did end up starting on time, surprisingly. Of course, you can find us every Wednesday night on Facebook Live, Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch, syndicated on all major podcast networks, and streaming the Going for Two app for iOS and Android. I am here with my co-host, fresh off his vacation, well-rested. Ryan, how you doing?
Good, man. I mean, I wish I was still on vacation. I mean, I missed all of you, of course, but I missed vacation more.
Yeah, you passed through my hometown. You by the time you texted me, you'd already passed me, but you drove right on through on 95 there. You got to experience some of the traffic that I deal with on a daily basis, so I hope you enjoyed that.
That traffic was a nightmare. And like we were just like trying to cross a bridge. Yeah. And I hated every second of my life there.
Yep.
I'm also not a patient human being, believe it or not.
Yeah, good stuff. All right, joining us tonight, we have two guests tonight. Going for Two's own and also host of the Practice Squad podcast, Mr. Chris Monshinskie. You could follow him on Twitter at the CommishFF. What's up, Chris?
What's going on, Jeff, Ryan, Sam? Good to be here.
Good stuff. And also joining us tonight, writer for Ball Blast and contributor to Football Guys, Mr. Sam Wagman. What's up, man?
Yeah, I'm doing well. How about you guys?
Not too bad. So I'll give you both a quick minute to talk about yourself a little bit. Chris, we'll go to you first. Kind of give us an idea of what it is you do in the fantasy community and how long you've been doing it.
All right, so I'm having in fantasy since I think 1997. So I've been playing more than most people I interact with have been alive. So, but I just started getting into like podcasting and creating some content last season, right before the season started, like so last July or August. And as you know, I've been with Going for Two now since I think April. So my first official little gig here. So I'm really excited for the opportunity, and I'm glad to be here tonight.
Good stuff. All right, Sam, we'll go to you really quick to give us an idea of what you've been doing, over at Ball Blast and at Football Guys, and just how long you've been playing.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's I've also been in very recently since, about early February. Got hooked up with Kate and Michelle and Okada over at Ball Blast in May. Been loving it over there, and then just started writing for Football Guys. Doing some stuff over there. I got a nice Keenan Allen player spotlight that's going to drop next week.
Nice.
Really hyped to put that out, and we're putting together some great content over there as well.
Good stuff. All right, fellas, we got a jam-packed show tonight. We are actually doing what I call Everyone Hates Division Previews, because I know as a podcast listener, I always hated division previews. So we try to do it a little bit different here on the Armchair Fantasy Show. We do them as a mock draft format. But before we get to that, let's get to the news and notes.
News and notes from around the league.
News and notes is brought to you by the Dynasty Trade Calculator. Everybody hates bad trade offers, right? No one wants to be that guy. Never make a bad trade offer again with Dynasty Trade Calculator. Visit goingfor2.com/DTC to sign up for $15 a year. That's right. All you do is go to goingfor2.com/DTC. Get the best trade calculator for only $15 a year. Stop guessing. Start calculating. And we just had some breaking news. Apparently, I just saw it on the Skype feed there that Dak Prescott could miss a few games here. So instant reaction. Chris, we'll go to you first. Give me your thoughts on this situation with Dak. And I mean, already missing some games possibly.
Yeah, this is not a good way to start off camp. He only played 5 games last year. So, I mean, Dallas fans, fantasy fans, anyone that has Dak on their dynasty teams is probably not feeling good right now. It was the first, second day of camp, and he's already going to miss the next few weeks. So something to keep your eye on. Hopefully it's nothing to worry about going into the season, but not the way you wanted to see Dak come back.
What about you, Sam? Instant reaction. I haven't even seen what the injury is. Is it related to his other injury or is it a new injury? I just literally saw that come through.
I do believe, I was going to say I saw something earlier where he only played a little bit of practice today and then went off the field, had an MRI and everything. I guess this is what it is. So that's definitely not good. You add that to the concerns everyone already had about the ankle and whether he was going to come back 100% right away. This is not good for fantasy. It's good for me as an Eagles fan, but it's not good for fantasy.
And Ron, I'll go to you. Give me your thoughts on some of the ancillary pieces there. Obviously, CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, he's dealing with injuries himself. What are your thoughts on them coming out into the season now?
I mean, if Dak's not there, everything drops. Everybody takes a hit. Zeke takes a hit because they're not respecting whoever's a quarterback. Forgot his name from last year, which is Stacks. He's from high school down the street, but whoever the hell that was, it's not Dak. It's not an all-pro quarterback, so obviously all the receivers take a hit. I don't think you can see both Amari and CeeDee Lamb as top 24 receivers. And Gallup got hurt today too a little bit. He tweaked his ankle.
Yep.
It's just not good. I'm going to watch it close. I'm probably going to be a little more hesitant because shoulders tend to hang around.
Yeah, this is
my non-medical opinion.
This is kind of a time of year too where dynasty owners, we're waiting for this time of year. We can't wait to camp. We can't wait to see practice. We can't wait to get to, tape on these new rookies. And we all hold our breath at the same time. Please guys, don't get hurt. Basically, is what we're hoping for right now. And already we've got, obviously the Cam Akers injury, which we'll talk about here in just a minute. Michael Thomas is going to miss games. And sticking with the quarterbacks, one guy that's not going to miss games that we thought might, Mr. Aaron Rodgers. And Sam, I'll go to you first on this one. I mean, were you letting out a sigh of relief here? Do you have some Rodgers shares or some Devontae Adams shares, or what are your thoughts on this?
I do. I have a good amount of Rodgers shares, and it's not because I had him from before. It's just I always thought he was going to come back, so I wasn't really that surprised. I was more or less thinking that once he wasn't traded on draft night, it didn't really make sense for him to be traded at all. It was either he was going to retire or he was going to come back and play for Green Bay. Nothing else makes sense until after the season. So I'm happy to see he's back. It means that we don't have to suffer through Jordan Love for a whole season,
Yeah.
which just makes that team unfun to watch because he's probably not a good quarterback. So it's good to have Aaron Rodgers back, and it's obviously good for Devontae Adams and pretty much literally every other fantasy option on that team anyways.
Speaking of other fantasy options, Chris, give me your thoughts on Aaron Rodgers, but also on the Randall Cobb trade. Is there any interest at all in Randall Cobb now? I mean, if Rodgers wanted him to go out and get him, I assume he's going to pass him the ball eventually.
I can't believe Randall Cobb was the deciding factor if Aaron Rodgers was going to come back to Green Bay. I mean, I think I woke up yesterday or this morning, and I'm like, what year are we in? That's what we need. But yeah, I mean, Rodgers, I was starting to lean towards he wasn't going to come back, and he was just going to really be pretty stubborn and sit out and not play for Green Bay and pull the whole Carson Palmer bit. But yeah, I mean, he's back, and I don't know. It's Randall Cobb. I updated my rankings today, and I'm pretty sure I put him in my top 85 at least. So
yeah, there you go.
He's probably worth keeping an eye on. I mean, I don't know what he has left in the tank, but Aaron Rodgers can make anybody look good, so probably even me.
Yeah,
so,
I had a friend of mine posted a graphic in one of our group chats today, and it showed Aaron Rodgers and Randall Cobb when they're playing together, what their record is and what their stats are. And I was like, yeah, but can you give me the stats for Randall Cobb when he wasn't playing? Because he was not playing a lot, for those years there towards the end. He was out for quite a bit. Ryan, what are your thoughts on the Aaron Rodgers thing?
I will start off with I was very wrong about that. I had full time been saying that he wasn't coming back, so I was wrong. I'm happy that I was wrong. It's good for football. It puts Devontae Adams at your wide receiver 1 again, or 2 at worst. Like, wherever you had him before, he's back up there and awesome. It's good for
Attention,
the
everyone.
running game. AJ Dillon was somebody I was looking forward to without Rodgers. It dips him a little bit, but other than that, it's everybody up. And I'm really excited about Robert Tonyan for it because they really clicked last year, especially in the red zone. And with the tight end market like it is, I think that's a huge boost that a lot of us are going to kind of gloss over because, who cares?
Yep. Yeah, I'm with you. I think obviously Adams gets all his value back. So if you bought him at a depressed value, whether it be Scott Fishbowl or in some dynasty leagues, if you got him at a depressed value, or if you bought him from owners that were panicking, I think you're happy right now. Same thing with Rodgers, Superflex leagues. If you have Rodgers, you're happy once again. The situation, all those guys get value again. Now the receiver that is benefits behind Adams is the question mark now. Is it Lazard? Is it MVS? Is it the new rookie? So is it Randall Cobb? Who's that second guy going to be this year? We don't know, but I do think Adams, Tonyan, Aaron Jones, Rodgers all get back their full value here. So yeah, definitely agree with all those points there.
Is it okay to say now that there's not a second guy, like receiving wise for there?
It's
similar to Kansas City. Like we want it to happen, but
it's just not going to happen.
It's not happening.
Yep.
I feel like
it's Tonyan.
Yeah.
That's who it'll be.
Yeah, no one else. He spreads the ball too well. If it's not force fed to Adams, he spreads the ball around.
Yeah, it's very diluted. Aaron Jones is the number 2 receiver.
Yeah, that too.
Yep.
Yeah,
him and
it's not going to be a guy at receiver.
No.
Yeah, there's a guy today in one of my leagues has Randall Cobb, and he was trying to sell him. He's like, yeah, he's going to be a top 3 targets on that team. I'm like, yeah, well, top 3 last year was MVS. He had 60 targets. It's not really what I want to pay for right now. So,
yeah, that's a smart thing to do.
Yeah,
they're better.
Yeah,
They're better best ball targets. You can bet on one of them having a big week, but you're not gonna ever start them.
Yeah, agreed. And Kyle Senra is in the chat, and he's a Packers fan, and he says Lazard greater than Cobb. So I agree. I think Lazard, if you're going to own the second receiver, I think he's the one you definitely want. Unless you're in Dynasty, get the rookie there. I think he'll be good in years to come. The other 3 things I had on here are old news now, so we're just going to touch on them really quick here. Cam Akers injury, Ryan, we hadn't talked about it yet. We've been, sort of not on the podcast together. You were a big Cam Akers from day one. Actually, from even before day one when he was still at Florida State. So give me your thoughts on this, and what are you doing with Cam Akers if you're an owner?
I'm so bummed. Like this one hurt. I think it's the most text messages I've got for a non-Ravens injury in my life. I was very hurt by it. Dynasty wise, he dropped my rankings a good bit. I dropped him to 20 in Dynasty. Obviously, undraftable and redraft now. I think he moves Darrell Henderson up to an RB2. I don't think he's an RB1. I don't think he's Cam Akers. I don't think he's every ground back. But I could see him being in that 18 to 24 range. And I'm pretty comfortable starting him. The backup situation, I don't know if we have everyone's talking about
Xavier
his
Jones.
Backups with either Xavier Jones,
Jake Funk, I think his name is.
Yeah, I don't think the backup running back's on the roster right now. There's not a lot of great things on free agency. It's kind of trash, but they could fill in. You could put in, as gross as it sounds, Lev Bell, and he could do those jobs because he can catch the ball a little bit. I just don't see any true value after Henderson at the moment. It's worth the free agent pickup, but I'm not trying to buy those guys really hard.
It's possible too. They just wait until preseason. When they're cutting the rosters down, the guys that get cut, like we've heard Sony Michel's name thought they're getting cut. If Michel gets cut, they pick up Sony Michel. Maybe he has a revival of his career with LA. There's different running backs that are on the chopping block that they could add. After preseason's pretty much over with.
It happens all the time.
Yep, agreed. All right, let's go to the Michael Thomas news. Of course, we know he's missing at least a month, if not 2 months. Sam, I'll go to you on this one. The number 2 on that team, I guess, was Traquan Smith, is now the number 1. Any bump in value for him? He didn't look great last year when he had a chance to be the number 1 guy, but do you think that changes this year with Winston or Taysom Hill?
There's a couple of people in the NFL that I'm undying fans of. It'll just never leave. Tre'Quan Smith happens to be one of them.
I'm with you.
It's it's an every year thing for me at this point. I just want it to happen. This looks like the year that it might happen. No one will be shocked if it doesn't happen, but it would be really nice for it to happen. So there's a healthy boost for him. I'm glad I had a lot of him already in best balls and even in dynasty and some redrafts. But going forward for them, they signed Chris Hogan's. I mean, there's not a lot of talent there. This is going to be a very weird offense for the Saints until Michael Thomas comes back. And I don't even think Tre'Quan Smith leads the team in targets. I think Adam Troutman and Alvin Kamara do.
Yeah.
Some mix there. Tre'Quan Smith is still probably the number 3 there, but just because Sean Payton, whatever it is, it's either Breeze couldn't hit him because he was always downfield, or Sean Payton doesn't like him. I guess we'll find that out really soon.
Yeah, and I too am a big Tre'Quan Smith fan. I actually drafted him in the 3rd round in my rookie draft when he first came out, and I've been hoping that he would break out here eventually. And of course, it hasn't happened. The one thing I will say about him. And I'm trying to pull his numbers up now, so I have to have the stats in front of me. For as little targets as he's gotten over his first 3 years, his touchdowns are actually pretty good. I mean, 5, 4, with 28 catches, 18 catches, 50 catches. So, I mean, if you up that target total a little bit, maybe he gets some touchdowns. I have visions in my mind of Jameis Winston throwing the yellow balls down the field. Like he did in Tampa. I don't think it'll happen with the Saints offense, but in my mind it's going to happen. So I think that the YOLO ball goes to Tre'Quan Smith, and maybe it ends up being a decent value.
Yeah, and if Jameis starts, this whole thing could turn around. It could be Tre'Quan that leads the team in targets, and that wouldn't shock me. But I think with the injury, I feel like they pivot to Taysom Hill. If they haven't been all along, I mean, nobody really knows at this point.
Yep.
So this seems like they would turn it over to Taysom Hill to simplify the offense a whole lot. And it just is Taysom Hill throwing to Alvin Kamara, and that's it.
That's it.
And, pieces mixed around, because nothing else makes really any sense. You don't have, Jameis is just there. He's not really an accurate guy, and Michael Thomas could have helped that, but he's not there now.
Yep, agreed. And Chris, I had first wrote this down about the Devontae Adams being disgruntled. That it has since changed. Aaron Rodgers is now back. So I'm going to change the question a little bit. He's up for a contract. Is the time to sell him in Dynasty now? Or do you think, because Rodgers won't be here next year. We know that for a fact. So is Adams the sell now? Like, you trying to get rid of Adams maybe even mid-season when you've seen what he's done and try to sell him high? Or are you holding on to him hoping that he can kind of keep that value without Rodgers being there?
That actually really is a good question, because his value should probably diminish a little bit once Rodgers leaves. I know that their Instagram posts, the last dance, him and Rodgers, I don't know if this means that they're both gone after this year or if this is just their last year together. But Adams, I saw a stat somewhere today, and in games without Rodgers, and he still put up on like a 16-game pace, like 1,000-yard seasons.
Yep.
6 to 8 touchdowns, somewhere in that range. So he's still going to be obviously a fantasy asset, and he's still a great receiver. But to Sam's point earlier, Jordan Love, I don't think the world is ready for Jordan Love's season. Or if it was going to be Blake Bortles, we don't even know. But I think you got to ride it in a little bit. But I don't know. I don't know. I can't sell high on Adams. I don't want to sell too soon.
Yeah, I think so. We do these personal league podcasts. We do them all audio, and we had one last night, and Adams came up, and we kind of talked about it. And my advice to the team that owned him was hold on to him through the year and see how your team is doing. If you're a contender, hold Adams and ride him out. If you're not a contender, sell him for what you can get right then and there, because I don't think his value gets any higher than it's going to be mid-season this year. So I think that's what you would do if you're an owner, because I think he is going to be like 29 years old. He's an older receiver at this first big contract he's going to get. So I agree wholeheartedly with that. All right, we got a lot to get to. So the way this works, we're going to do NFC East in the first half, and we'll do the AFC East in the second half. And we're only going to mock draft players from that division. It gets easy. It's easy in the beginning, and then of course you get towards the end there, it gets a lot harder. It'll be a super flex 2-round, 12 teams, and we'll just go round robin here. I'm not going to make any picks, so it's just going to be the three of you making picks. I tried doing the picks in the past and trying to control everything and host at the same time became nearly impossible. So we'll go ahead and kick off the NFC East mock draft.
Attention, everyone. Let's mock draft.
All right, NFC East, and Sam, you are the NFC East representative, so I'm going to have you take the 101 here. Remember, it is Superflex. Who are you going with here for your NFC East pick?
Aren't you an Eagles fan, right?
With Dak gonna miss time potentially. I mean, normally it would be Dak, but I don't think I have any choice but to go my man Jalen Hurts here with the 101.
All right, yeah, that's true. With Dak missing games there, you don't really know what's going to happen there. So I think if we had this podcast last night, Dak is obviously the easy one. It's the easy pick, but with the injury for sure, it definitely changes things. All right, 102, Chris.
You know, in the game with that Dak news, I'm like looking at this. I'm like, if I got the 1-1, I might get really weird here, because of Dak, and to Ryan's point earlier, like Zeke does not care if he doesn't have his All-Pro quarterback. So I'd probably go Antonio Gibson right here.
Oof. Okay, I like it.
That's a spicy pick.
Yes, it is a spicy pick. Yeah.
But I have my least concerns about him compared to Zeke, Barkley, and even like Dak right this second.
Wow,
yeah.
I like it. I'm
gonna save what I have to say about Gibson until the prop.
all right, good stuff. Ryan, you got the 103, so you got Dak sitting there looking at you. You gonna use that pick on Dak?
Nope. I think Barkley here. We've seen what he does with that volume. The offense in New York is better than it was. I think him healthy with Daniel Jones's a little bit of rushing ability is nice together, and he's still that dump off and should see 275 plus touches. Like, I'm all for it.
Wow, look at that. We are completely avoiding the Dallas Cowboys, which would have been a totally different podcast last night if we had done this a little bit earlier.
Barkley's still my 2 out of this group, though.
Yeah.
If everybody was healthy.
If everyone's healthy, yeah, you're probably right. He's still the 2. But I just think it's funny, because you got CeeDee Lamb on the board still. Obviously, I don't think he would have gone in the first 4 picks, but you still got some guys up there that could have gone earlier if Dak was healthy. All right, we're back to the 104, and Sam, it's back to you.
I didn't expect to see Zeke here all day.
All right, yeah, Zeke definitely get the running back. So yeah, good pick there. 105, going to you, Sam. I'm sorry, going to you, Chris.
Oh yeah.
I think it's time someone's got to take Dak here. I mean, if he's missing a few weeks, hopefully he's back week 1, and hopefully he doesn't linger too long. But you can't pass up on Dak at 1-5 at this point.
Yeah, in Superflex leagues for sure. I think even if he comes back, if he misses 3-4 weeks, he's still going to be a league winner for you if he gets healthy and plays like he did last year. All right, Ryan, we're back to you at the 106.
I feel like it's real off-brand, but I'm going to Terry McLaurin. They're going to sling the ball with Fitzpatrick there, and he's the wide receiver 1 in that offense. If Curtis Samuel might miss time, he's going to get fed.
Yeah, I like that pick there, and I live here in Washington, and they're talking all kinds of good stuff about him, and him and Fitzpatrick have already kind of had some chemistry, and we know Fitzpatrick loves his wide receivers for sure. All through his history, he's throwing the receivers, so McLaurin is definitely a great pick there.
And he's his best quarterback, which isn't saying much, but he's still his best quarterback he's had.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, we're at the 107, and Sam, it's you.
Did anybody see that one-handed catch from CeeDee Lamb today?
It was 14. It was incredible.
Yeah.
That catch was great. That's him. Number 1.
All right, CeeDee Lamb at the 107. All right, Chris, you are up at the 108.
Again, if this was last night, Cooper would probably be gone right now. But I'm probably going to swing over back to Philly here and take Miles Sanders.
Miles Sanders, yeah, get the running backs there. I like it because those quarterbacks, outside of Dak and Hurts, the quarterbacks, I mean, I guess you could maybe say
they're
something
good
about
values later on.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think we're going to maybe not take him in the first round potentially. All right, so we are on the 109 now, Ryan, to you.
Take Amari. he's a lock for 1,100 yards, 8 touchdowns. Like, he's good. Like, there's not much to say about him.
Not worried about the injury or whatever it is that they're trying to hold him out for?
If he misses a couple weeks, he misses a couple weeks. I'm not that concerned because he's a good enough receiver and polished enough where he can miss some time and pop right in. That's why I'm confident with him. If he was younger, it's a different story.
All right, good stuff. The 110, Sam. What you got here at the 110?
Want to see another guy who can hit 1,100 yards and 8 touchdowns? Devontae Smith.
Ooh. I like it. You gotta talk about him a little bit. Tell me why you think he can do that.
Man, I've been singing this kid's praises since December now, since I saw him catch that one-handed catch in the end zone against LSU. But I mean, realistically, I thought he was going to come out 2 years ago, and when he was the best receiver at Alabama his last 2 years, and he's just a special talent. I don't think I've seen someone with his level of route running ability coupled with the hands and the ability to expand his frame to go up and make plays that he just shouldn't be making. I mean, he plays like at 6'4", not 6'1", and that the BMI, the weight, that's no issue. I mean, these guys go to nutritionists, they'll bulk up. Even if he only bulks up, 10, 15 pounds, he'll be perfectly fine.
All right. With all that praise there, I want to ask you, who's your 101 receiver in this year's class? Was it Smith, or did you stick with Jamar Chase?
Devontae.
It was. So
Devontae.
you put him over Jamar Chase. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I almost put Chase at 3.
Oh, wow. Wow. I like it. We need to have you on.
Before or after the landing spot?
That was before. I mean, that was pre-draft.
Okay.
It was always pre-draft. I saw some things while watching film on Jamar Chase that I didn't love.
All right.
So, I didn't love how he kind of ran a little bit right off the beat. But, I mean, he's the best contested catch guy in the class. I'll give him that. That'll lead to a lot of points.
Good stuff. All right. Now we are at the 111, and Chris, it's to you.
I'm going to take another receiver here with double-digit touchdown upside, and that's the new number 1 in New York, and that's Kenny Golladay.
Kenny Golladay. Are you worried at all about Daniel Jones and his ability to get the ball to Kenny Golladay?
I really should be against Daniel Jones after last year having him and being heartbroken, but I'm back here in 2021 to get hurt all over again. So hoping Barkley is healthy and that the offense is completely just a whole different team there with Barkley being healthy, and I'm not too concerned. And I have Golladay right around Devontae Smith, so I'm either or on those guys right now.
All right, good stuff. And Ryan, you got the 112 and the 201, so give me your back-to-back picks here.
Okay, I got back-to-back. I feel like we just had a major talent drop-off. Like, it just ended.
The second round's going to be brutal.
Yeah, I know. With 112, I'm taking Daniel Jones. He's not pretty. He's probably going to throw for, below 3,000 yards. But you know what? He has 350 to 400 on the ground because he's an athlete. And he has enough weapons where it's a help. So there's the upside there. If he makes that third-year leap with the development and the weapons click, it has the upside. But his rushing gives you a little bit of a floor. So I'm taking him compared to what's left.
All right, good stuff. And the 202 is back to you, Chris. Oh, wait, you're on the 201. That's right. You haven't picked.
Yeah, I'm still up. And I am going Dallas Goedert. He has the upside. I know Ertz is, I think, coming back now, Sam. But yeah.
I mean, right now he is, but I think he'll be gone in the next couple of weeks.
Then, yeah, if that's the case, it makes Goddard all the better because he's still going to eat targets up the middle, and he's still a huge red zone threat because there's not that many quality big bodies in Philly other than him at the tight end position. The wide receivers are kind of smallish. So I'm going to lean with him in that case.
All right, I like it. It's getting really ugly on this draft board, Chris, and you're up here at the 202. Where are you going here?
Yeah, well, now I got sniped with Goddard. Now I'm really struggling. But I'm probably going to go with Curtis Samuel. I really like him. And, yeah, provided he's healthy. Ryan mentioned he might miss some time. But he's, Ron Rivera drafted him a few years ago. They'll get him the ball. He can get the ball behind the line of scrimmage. He can run it, out of the slot. But they'll be creative and get him the ball. So I'll take Samuel there.
Yeah, that's a good value because you're right. I mean, they'll find ways to use him creatively in that offense with some runs and different things. So Samuel definitely has some good value there. The 203, Sam, you were up.
It's Chris.
Take us through your thought process.
Yeah, the AFC is much worse. I'm looking at those running backs, I want to puke. I think I have to take Ryan Fitzpatrick here to fill out my QBs. I think obviously he's the guy there to start the season. You never know what's going to happen. Might be Taylor Heineke's shot soon, but I think for now Fitzpatrick is the guy, and until he's not the guy. So, but when he's the guy, he can definitely sling the ball around, and I think he's going to do just that.
Yeah, as long as he's Fitz magic and not Fitz tragic, you're good to go.
I like that.
All right, Ryan, you're at the 204.
I'm feeling Logan Thomas. He showed that he was a serious red zone threat. He proved to be a little bit of a target monster. Obviously, it's a different quarterback, but he proved he could be that number 2 target behind McLaurin.
Yeah, and I think he had a bunch of touchdowns last year too, which definitely didn't hurt his value for sure. So he's a good touchdown option there in the red zone for them. All right, we are up at the 205. Am I on my right number here? I think it's 205. I'm losing count now.
Yeah, this is my second pick of this round.
All right, so Chris, you're up.
So just in case Dak is out of commission for some time, I don't know who their backup quarterback is. Ben DiNucci's still there, whatever. But the tight end position was pretty safe for them last year. So I think Blake Jarwin is a pretty good value. I think regardless if Dak is healthy or not, I think he still has a pretty good role in that offense.
All right, we're going a couple tight ends there in a row. I like it. The 206, Sam.
Well, I'm gonna hold off on drafting Evan Engram as long as I can because it'll make me throw up to do it. So I don't know why Michael Gallup's still on the board. I think Chris just went blind when he took Blake Jarwin over him. So I'm gonna take Michael Gallup here because he is an absolute stud, and I'm happy to have him and CD in the lineup running both of them every week.
Yeah, Gallup is that guy that, before CD got there, that everyone wanted him to break out and have that big season. Yep. CD kind of put a little bit of damper on that. But if Dak is in there and they throw the ball as much as we think they're going to throw the ball, all three of the receivers can have value in fantasy for sure.
Yep.
What are we at? 207?
Yes.
Yeah, I should have had like a little cheat sheet here so I can keep track of it. I think, I can do it in my head, but yeah, it's just definitely losing track here. So 207, Ryan.
Okay, getting a little weird here. Going Kadarius Toney. I like a lot of what he can do that matches with Daniel Jones because he's a big run after the catch guy. He works on the underneath route. So if you see scramble drills, which you're going to see in New York because they don't have a great line, he's up to move, dump off. Tony's a guy who performs his best with the ball in his hands. So I think he could get some sneaky looks there. And if you start getting volume underneath and start breaking plays, that's when the stats slowly creep up there and you become fantasy relevant.
Yeah, that's true. Good point there. So I'm going to kind of give a recap on the board here before you make your pick, Chris, just so that the listeners here can see how awful this board looks right now. So at running backs right now, we still got Tony Pollard, J.D. McKissick, and Booker there, the backup for Barkley. Taylor Heinicke still on the board.
And Kenny Gainwell.
And Kenny Gainwell, this is true. He's still on there as well. Taylor Heinicke at quarterback if Fitzpatrick was to get benched. Receiver, we got guys like Jalen Reagor. We got Diami Brown. Sterling Shepard still on the board. Darius Slayton still on the board. Dalton Schultz. Of course, the aforementioned Zach Ertz is still there. And, of course, Evan Ingram. So, Chris, you are on the board now. Where are you going here?
I'm probably going to Dallas, and I'm going to go take Tony Pollard. I think he has he has a role with Zeke being even when he's healthy. So just in case, I'm always about protecting my running backs and taking some depth there just in case someone gets injured or something like that happens.
All right. And are we at the 211 now? 10. 10. We're at the 10, right? Okay, so we're going to end on Sam. I should have kept track of this. So we'll go around one more time here. So, Sam, give me your pick at whatever pick we're at right now. We'll go around the little room one more time here.
Kenny Gainwell or Evan Ingram? I guess I'll go Kenny Gainwell for now.
Kenny Gainwell. All right. So you're an Eagles fan, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's your thoughts on Gainwell? Like as far as being on the depth chart, where's he kind of slot in at?
I mean, he's going to play the Eagles version of Nyheim Hines in this offense, most likely. Obviously we have, about at least 80% of the Colts coaching staff has come over to Philly, and you have to assume some of their philosophies are as well. It worked for the Colts last year. It should work for Philly. They are used to a kind of committee back system there. Miles Sanders just hasn't been given the keys, even though he arguably does deserve them. The keys are just not given, and Kenny Gainwell is there, and I loved watching him at Memphis, and I think he's going to be a very good pass catching back in this league. And if he gets his own starting job somewhere, maybe here in a couple of years if something happens to Miles Sanders, I think he'll do very well at it. So I really like him. I think he might catch 60 balls this year.
I like it. So we are at the 210 now with Ryan. So the 211 will be Chris, and then we'll finish up at the 212 with Sam. So Ryan, 210.
So I'm going to take J.D. McKissick. I think he has standalone value as a pass catcher. I don't think he's the handcuff there because I don't think he's every down back. But as somebody takes some dump-off passes and in games that are shootouts, he's a startable player in this situation in the flex.
So you think even with Captain Checkdown Alex Smith, do you think McKissick still has a pretty decent role on this team?
I mean, I don't think it's going to be huge. I mean, as much as you're going to get for a mid-level backup running back, third down back, but he could get 6-7 targets in a game. Like I said, I'm not playing him every week. I'm playing him in games that are going to be shootouts and teams their defense may not shut people down with.
Right, definitely. All right, Chris, you got the 211. It's ugly.
All right. I'm really torn on one of the pass catchers here, but I guess I will take Evan Ingram so Sam doesn't have to. At the last pick here, look at the relief on his face. I'll take Evan Ingram. I mean, he gets 1 million targets with Daniel Jones. I mean, what he does with them is up for him to decide. But I'll take the volume there for Evan Ingram.
Yeah, I was surprised he fell even that far. I thought Evan Ingram would have gone a little bit sooner. I mean, he had 100 targets last year, which is pretty good. He just didn't score with any of them, so that kind of hurt his value a little bit. All right, Sam, take us home here. You got the 212. Where are you going here?
I'll draft Zach Ertz in the hopes that he goes somewhere else. Anywhere else but Philadelphia. Just be free. Be free. He deserves it.
Do you have any preference? As a fan of the Eagles, do you see a team that he fits with? Or you had heard any rumors?
Oh, yeah. I'd love to see him go to Arizona. Kyler Murray's my QB1. I think they could definitely use his services there. They don't have, nobody of substance is there. And, behind DeAndre Hopkins, and because I don't believe in Rondale Moore, we have, a lot of opening there. So I think Ertz could fit in very well there. Just need to see them pull the trigger.
All right.
You just said so many things I loved in that last. I just agreed with Kyler Murray.
I saw your face, and I was like, oh, no, he hates it.
No, Kyler Murray's like QB1. My face is like that because I had flashbacks of being berated by Chiefs fans for...
Nah, he's QB1.
And I also agree with Rondale Moore not being good.
Nice.
I want to say I loved all of that, so I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Good stuff.
I'm surprised Jalen Reagor never got taken.
Yeah, he never got drafted. That is kind of surprising. I thought.
Yeah, I was a huge supporter of him. I should have.
Yeah. Ryan loved Reagor.
I'm a supporter of him too. I just I liked CD, Gallup, and Devontae all over him.
Yeah. Yep. Agreed. All right, that wraps up the NFC East. We're going to get to a new segment that we're going to be doing during the season. Let's go ahead and hit the sounder.
Going for Two Live and PlayPickup.com present the Pickup Props of the Week.
All right, so Going for Two and Play Pickup have joined forces here, and basically what they do is they create prop bets that can be embedded inside of our articles. So as you're reading articles, you'll see these in there. If you vote on them, It'll ask your mobile phone number. If you wanted to, you don't have to, but you can put it in there. It'll keep track of all of your bets throughout the year. And you earn points based on, it's not, there's no money involved. There's not real money involved. So, but you earn points, and those points can then be traded in for gifts. You got like Fanatic gift cards you can get, and free bowling nights and stuff like that. So it's a fun way to interact with the article. It's a fun way to keep track of how you would do on some of these bets here. So we're going to have a segment each week where we'll look at the week upcoming and do some prop bets. But for these preview shows, we'll do a couple of them for season totals, and I got 4 different ones here that we'll discuss. And the first one there, it was over for me for definitely before this podcast, but now with his injury, maybe not. But over under Dak Prescott 29.5 touchdowns. Ryan, which way are you going on that one?
I'm gonna pretend he's healthy for this, and he's there for week 1. And I have the over. I had him at 35 for the year.
35. That's pre-injury though, that you haven't adjusted.
That's pre-injury, so even if he said it was total touchdowns.
Total touchdowns. Yep.
Okay, then I have more than that because that was just passing. So yeah, even if he misses 2 to 3 games, it'll be close enough. So yeah, I'll stick with it.
All right. And Sam, which way are you going here? Over under 29.5 touchdowns for Dak Prescott.
Yeah, I got him over. I got him over that too. I think even if he does miss a couple games, I think he'll get to that number. I don't see a reason. The Cowboys are going to be playing from behind. Their defense is atrociously bad.
So bad.
It's so bad. And Dan Quinn is not good at coordinating. So I think they're going to be playing from behind a lot. It's going to be like last year. Dak's going to be on track to set records when he gets on the field. So, I think he could hit 40. I honestly think he could hit 35, 40 passing touchdowns.
I have a 35 and then 3 rushing.
So,
Nice.
Yeah,
It's
so
not-
he's going to get there.
Yeah, in 17-game season, that's only 2 a game.
Exactly.
Yep, that's true.
Exactly.
That is true. Chris, are you going over here as well, or are you going to mix things up a little bit?
Nah, I don't want to get yelled at, so I'm going to go over. I have him projected at 35 touchdowns as well. So I mean, provided he's healthy. Again, that's like 2 a game, and Dak can do that in the first quarter of most of them. So
Yep, agreed. And
Take the goal.
it looks like 74% of the field kind of agree with us as well. I think the 26%, maybe they're banking on the injury, but I think that definitely is going to be an over for me as well. Next one up, we got Antonio Gibson, total yards from scrimmage, over under 1,200. And Chris, I'll go to you first on this one. Over under total yards from scrimmage for Antonio Gibson, 1,200 or more.
I just took him in the 1-2, so I have to say over.
Yeah,
Right,
gotta stay on
so-
brand, right?
I have to. So I think I have him projected around like between 1,300 and 1,400 total yards. So I got a big season for him, so I'm going to go over.
All right, and Sam, what do you got here?
Ooh, if I told you my projections on total yards for Antonio Gibson, I might get I might get someone might call me an alien, because I have him projected for over 1,000 yards rushing and almost 550 yards receiving.
Wow.
I think he's
All
gonna
right.
go sky over. He's my RB6 this year.
Wow.
He's
Awesome.
I think he's going straight to the moon. I love everything about this kid. He just is so good at running the football.
Good stuff. I like it. So you're way over on this one. Ryan, what you got for Antonio Gibson total yards from scrimmage?
I got him at 1,312 yards myself, so I'm going over. And I might be low on his receiving yards, so after hearing you talk. So, yeah, definitely over.
All right. Yeah, it's 68% of the field agree with us on that one. 2 more. We got total passing touchdowns for Tua Tagovailoa. This is maybe a little bit harder for us to pick here. The over-under is set at 19.5. And Sam, we'll go to you first this time.
I'm gonna go under. I'm not a huge Tua believer personally. I'm not a huge fan of the weapons there. I don't know what to think about Jalen Waddle as far as his health. The last time anybody saw him, he was limping off the field in the national championship. So I do get a little worried about his health. Devontae Parker's on the PUP list to start camp. That's never good. And look, when Will Fuller's not taking his super infused Wheaties, he tends to get injured a lot. So, nothing about that passing offense gives me a lot of confidence. And with that, I don't have a lot of confidence in Tua, so I'm pretty comfortably taking the under here.
All right. Ryan, what do you have for Mr. Tua Tagovailoa?
I have him over. There's no QB. Okay, there's one QB who's really a tight end. But there's no QB who started 16 games that was under 20 touchdowns last year. And we got 17 games now. So I have him fairly well over. But yeah, the lowest 16-game starter last year was 24 touchdowns.
Wow. Okay. All right. Fair enough. Chris, you're going to be the tiebreaker here. You going over under 19.5 for Tua Tagovailoa?
Man, that's one a game. That's ridiculous. So
Yes.
I have him at 26 touchdowns. So I will go over, and I'll be okay with it.
All right. So if Sam is right, so the way the point system works is you go against the field. You earn points by how much it is under 100%. So right now it's 92% are going over. So if Sam was to win this bet, he would get 92 points. So
You probably win a 2 autograph picture for that.
I felt like I would probably be the only one under there, and it's because I have to stay on brand as never supporting Tua. Because I feel for the guy, but he didn't land in a good situation, and it wouldn't surprise me if every single one of those guys is injured by the midpoint of the season.
That's true.
Good
We throw
point.
to Albert Wilson.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there you go.
and I don't like Mike Gesicki either.
I don't like Gesicki either. I like Hunter Long, though.
I do. I love Hunter Long. I was hoping he would be drafted somewhere else.
All right, we got one more. We're gonna go look at the Jets here. Elijah Moore's receiving yards total this season. The line is set at 750 yards. And Chris, I'll go to you on this one.
I have to go under. As much as I want him to put up 1,300 yards this year, I have him around 600 right now, and that's because Jameson Crowder came back. If Crowder was not there, if he went somewhere else and Moore can probably slide into that slot role, I would probably be right around there, but I got to go under for now.
All right, Sam, what do you have? Over under Elijah Moore's receiving yards, 750.
That's 45 yards a game. I mean, I think Elijah Moore can get 45 yards a game, even with Jamison Crowder playing, who again is, and obviously I'm banking on injuries a lot here. But it's Jamison Crowder. The guy can't stay healthy. So I think Elijah Moore, once he gets settled into that offense, he's the guy you're gonna see 120 plus targets to go to every single year. So maybe it's not this year. I'm gonna say he goes over just because I think he becomes Zach Wilson's safety blanket into the home stretch of the year, and they look to feature him heavily given how high they drafted him. So I'm going to go just over here. All
right, I like it. And Ryan, you're the tiebreaker here. Over under 750 for Elijah Moore.
I'm over. I'm at 897. I think it's a lot when you have a rookie quarterback coming in with a rookie wide receiver, and you're hearing all this noise about how he's showing out. Normally, it's kind of one of those things you beat out, but the thing is, he's the guy doing it with somebody new. And I think the two of that combined makes it an exciting combination. It means they have some sort of chemistry put together. So, yeah, I have him with 108 targets.
Wow.
So
okay.
I have him getting the ball fed to him.
All right. 70% of the field went under 750 yards this year for Elijah Moore. So I'm not sure. The field is, I don't know how educated they are sometimes. This is a large field. Maybe they don't even know who Elijah Moore is, but 70% definitely went under because I think it's going to be over as well. I think 17-game season, the hype is there. I do think he gets the targets, and I think he's maybe not a ton over 750, but I think he does go over 750.
You guys are clearly not Jets fans. Just saying. Clearly not. You don't know what it's like.
My best friend is. I know exactly what it's like to look through his pain and sadness.
I wonder what he thinks to this question. I really want to know if he says under or over.
Hey, he likes Elijah Moore, so I think he would say over.
I love him. I hope.
All right, good stuff. All right, quick commercial break, guys. When we come back, we will do the NFC East mock drafts. Hold tight.
Experience a new way to play daily fantasy sports and esports on Thrive Fantasy. Thrive's game concept revolves around player props, which are simple over-unders on player stats. There are contests for traditional sports including the NFL, NBA, MLB, PGA, and cricket, as well as esports titles including CSGO, Dota 2, League of Legends, and more coming soon. Here's how to play. Choose your lineup of over-unders for top-tier athletes that have the biggest impact on the game. Each prop has a fantasy point total based on how likely it is to hit. The more points the selection is worth, the riskier it is. Rack up the most points and win a share of the prize pool. Thrive is awarded over $2 million in cash, so come and prop up today.
All right, welcome back. Use promo code Armchair, and they will match your deposit. Thrive Fantasy will up to $50. It's really cool. It's like prop bets meets DFS. You basically, put in your prop bet over under and build your lineup. It's a really fun kind of way of doing things. So if you use promo code Armchair, you will get a deposit match up to $50. All right, we are up to the NFC East now. The AFC East. I'm missing my, there it is.
Attention, everyone. Let's mock draft.
All right, AFC mock draft. I think just from looking at it, this might go a little bit deeper than the NFC East did.
That's a nice way to put it.
Which is funny because I think last year, Ryan, or 2 years ago when we did this, the AFC East was the worst division. I mean, they had like Julian Edelman was like their top receiver in that division. It's definitely switched over here. Yeah, it's definitely switched. All right, so the Jets fan here, the AFC East fan here is Chris. So you have the 101. It's super flex. I have a feeling I know who you're going with, so go ahead and make that choice.
Yeah, my number one quarterback this year is Josh Allen, so I gotta take him real quick because it gets ugly real fast.
Yeah, and so he's your number one. So we have two guys that have Kyler Murray at 101. You got Josh Allen at 101. Yeah. So
and my Murray is 2, so I have Mahomes at top 2.
Oh, all right, I like it. All right, Sam, you got the 102.
I'll go Stephon Diggs.
Oh.
Good luck, Ryan.
Good luck. Yeah, Stephon Diggs, obviously, he's the number one receiver in that offense and in that division, too. I mean, he pretty much is the stud there. Ryan, you got the 103.
God, is this draft board vile. I'm taking Tua. He has, compared to everybody else in the stage, just solidified role. We talked about, I have him for 29 passing touchdowns. I think he can be a startable QB2 in Superflex. And that's more than you can say about a lot of this. So I like Tua. I think he's safe.
Yeah,
I don't know if he has the upside, but I'm comfortable starting him and knowing he's not going to shit the bed for me.
Yeah, good call. And when I said that the AFC East is deeper, it didn't mean as far as talent, because, after Josh Allen and Diggs, I think the rest of the talent is all kind of bunched in the middle there. It may go deeper where there's some startable guys further down the list here, but it's not quite as good talent-wise. There's definitely more talent, top-heavy talent in the NFC East. 104, Chris, what you got?
I'll go Myles Gaskin at the 104. I'll take.
Someone got sniped.
Yeah, I'll take the top running back for now in this division. Which
is scary to think that he's the top running back in this division, right? Yeah. Myles Gaskins. All right, 105, Sam.
All right, I'll run with Damian Harris.
Harris.
Before all the rest of the running back talent is off the board.
So give me your thoughts on Harris. What do you think of him this year? Do you think he's going to be a viable fantasy asset?
I love him as long as I think Mac Jones starts early and often. I think that's where Damian Harris will flourish. It won't be with Cam Newton because you always have to worry about him near the goal line. But with Mac Jones in there, the guy can't run. So Damian Harris will be the guy. He'll be the goal line guy. He'll be the early down back guy. James White will get the passing work. But Damian Harris should be an RB2 if Mac Jones starts most of the season.
Yeah, I like Harris a lot too, for the same reason you do, as long as Mac Jones is a starter. Because Damian Harris actually had a pretty good workload last year. He just didn't get the red zone touches because that was all Cam Newton getting the end zone.
Yep.
So I agree 100%. 106, Ryan?
I think Zach Wilson here. Again, starting quarterback. He has so much upside. I love the talent. He was my QB too. He has weapons that fit well with what he does, whether it's not great for fantasy or not. But I like the idea of him there and putting up some fantasy points.
All right. 107, going to you, Chris.
I'll go Mike Gesicki here. I'll take my top tight end in the division.
Top tight end, so you're not a big believer in the Jonnu Hunter Henry experiment there in New England?
I like them. I have Jonnu higher, but I think Gesicki is. I mean, I'm a Gesicki guy. I'm a Penn State fan, so you can call me a homer for that one. But I think he's the only real option that Tua is going to have for most of the season.
All right, good call. 109, Sam.
0 QB, Mac Jones.
All right, wow.
The guy you might not even start, but you won't catch me taking Cam Newton.
All right, good stuff. And so we're at the 109 now, Ryan?
110, I think.
110, you're right, 110.
And I think he forgot to put some.
Did I forget somebody on the list?
Will Fuller was on there.
Oh, and Gabe Davis is not on there either.
Yeah.
Oh, good call.
Makes it a little bit better. That's talented guys. But I'm gonna take Michael Carter. I like he's getting he's getting the early work in camp right now. I know it's day 2, but that running back room is bad. Tevin Coleman's not a good running back. Nothing behind him is any good. I like Michael Carter's receiving ability, and I think he's a good dump-off valve, especially when you don't really have a tight end on that team. That means if he has to have the safety valve, it goes to the running back and the tight end.
All right, and we are at the 111, right? That was just the 110?
Yeah.
So 111 is Chris. Take us through your thought process. Who are you thinking about here?
There's like 8 guys right now that are all like in the same tier for me, and I'm just trying to decide if I want to go homer and take Elijah Moore. Cole Beasley kind of scares me with the COVID thing, and even Manny Sanders taking that John Brown role. So I'm kind of looking at those guys right now. But you guys talked me into Elijah Moore with the upside, and he was handpicked by this new regime with the regime we have here with the coaching staff. So I gotta believe he's going to be there. Hopefully he's one of the top targets.
All right, and now we are at the 112 and the 201, and Sam, it's your pick.
I'll fix my QB room with Cam Newton, so I have someone there for 112, and then for 201, let's see, I'll take Zach Moss.
Zach Moss, all right, good stuff. Any so obviously you prefer him over Singletary?
I do, and while I'm not as big of a Zach Moss homer as my bosses at Ball Blast are, shout out Kate and Michelle, who are just fanatical for some reason. But I do like Zach Moss to a degree, and I think I have him a little bit higher than most people do.
All right, 202, Ryan. No, I'm sorry, 202 is Chris. Yep, 202 is Chris.
All right, since I'm so torn on everybody, I'm going to go back to tight end again. I'll take Jonnu Smith.
Jonnu Smith. Wow, this one did get ugly fast, too. I'm looking at this board right now. We got Singletary, of course, still on the board. Tevin Coleman, P. Ryan, J.J. Taylor, James White, Ramondre Stevenson. We got all the Pats backs except for Damian Harris are still on the board. For receivers, you got Corey Davis still there, right? No one's taking Corey Davis, right?
No,
Nope.
Yep, he's still on the board. Manny Sanders, Denzel Mims, Devontae Parker, Jacoby Myers, Herndon, Knox. So we're at the 203, and it is to you, Ryan.
Take Will Fuller. When Will Fuller's on the field, he's shown nothing but being really good. I know it's a big drop off in quarterback, leaving Deshaun Watson, but he still was averaging 65 yards a game, scoring touchdowns at unbelievable pace. Like, he's a really good receiver. It's just being healthy. And at this point with this talent, I'm going with the guy with the most upside.
All right, Will Fuller at the 203. We're now at the 204, and Sam, you are up.
Ooh, I won't make the mistake of being left with a tight end I don't like this time. So I'll go with Hunter Henry here, because I think, while I do think Jonnu will get the touches there, I do think Hunter Henry wasn't paid $36 million to just sit on the sidelines. I think they'll work him in a fair bit. Bill Belichick does have a lot of experience with the 12 personnel. I think he will find himself going back to it quite a bit this season.
Yeah, I think we talked about this before on the podcast, and me and Ryan agreed at least that Hunter Henry is the guy they're going to put in the red zone because he's the better blocker. So if he's on the field, then he has the option of getting the touchdown. The play action fake touchdown, where Jonnu Smith, I think, is more the athletic guy. They'll use him between the 20s to get down the field, but when he gets to the red zone, it'll be Hunter Henry on the field. So I like that pick there.
Yep.
205, Chris.
I don't love Cole Beasley as a person, but I will take him as a receiver. He gets a lot of volume, so he's a PPR monster at times. So I'll take him now.
All right, to the 205.
I thought you said you loved him at first. I was like,
No.
206, Ryan.
I'm taking Jalen Waddle. I love Waddle's skill set. He's so
Sniped
explosive. I know he missed a lot of last year, like you mentioned before, but man, when he touches the ball, he's trying to take it to the house every time he can. Him in that offense and his chemistry already has with Tua, I like that. I thought about taking him ahead of Fuller, honestly.
All
but
right.
It worked out.
Sam, you've been sniped a couple times in this one, so 207 now. Who you going with?
I was gonna take Waddle, but I will take Corey Davis here, because again, you follow the money in a lot of these places. I know the Jets like to shell it out, willy nilly, but they did pay Corey Davis also $30 something million, if I remember correctly. So, I think we'll see him a lot there to at least start the year.
Yep. I agree. I like Corey Davis. I had him on my team last year, and he finally had that breakout. Got the semi-big contract there. I do think that the Jets.
You love Corey Davis. Don't say like.
yes, you're right. I was.
You've been a Corey Davis person since I've known you.
Since he came into the league, because I drafted him into my home league, and I was holding on to him. I actually traded him away when I finally gave up on him. And then I bought him back this past year for like a third-round pick. And, of course, then he goes off, and the guy that traded him back to me is pissed because he finally broke out. But, yeah, I do love Corey Davis. All right, we're at the 208. Chris.
Yeah, I'm not a real no running back guy. I'm not a zero RB person at all, so I'm doing it again here. I'm not taking another one. I'm going to stay in Buffalo and go Manny Sanders. I love this guy for years. With the Broncos, with the Saints, the Niners, right? So he's just been all over the place, but he's always been a solid option. So I'll keep taking him until he leaves the league, I think.
And the thing with him too, that with all the places that he's been at, he's made the impact immediately. I mean, even when he came to San Francisco, I mean, he was immediately put into that offense and it was producing for us. So I think that he can definitely just jump right into this offense and do the same thing. He's just one of those receivers that just can produce no matter where he's at. 209, Ryan.
I am really split between two guys here. And I think I have to go Gabriel Davis. They really sorry, Sam.
Poor Sam. It's getting sniped left and right here.
He's a great deep threat. He does a little bit of everything. Josh Allen trusted him, took shots to him. And I think with a little bit of question marks, with Beasley, bringing in Sanders, who's he has a lot of potential. This team can throw the ball a lot. They can't run.
Yep, good call.
Yep, and one of the things I like most about Gabriel Davis is that I think Emmanuel Sanders is dust, and I do think Beasley does something. He's I'd like to see an odds prop about whether Cole Beasley will catch COVID sometime this season or not, because I think it might be quite likely. Obviously nobody's wishing for anyone to catch COVID here. I think that's important to note. But if someone gonna get it, it would be a nice twist of irony if he did. So, that being said, I'm heartbroken about being sniped on Gabriel Davis, who I actually think has a really realistic shot at 1,000 yards this year.
Wow.
So, I'm super high on him. I think that's like the ceiling for him is hitting that, 60 catch, 1,000 yards, 6 touchdowns mark.
I have him real close.
He's there.
I'm at 926. He's right there.
He's right there. I think he breaks out in a big way. So, but enough about that because I'm making myself sad. I'm gonna go with this did get ugly quick.
Yeah.
The next person up in New York. It really is kind of up for debate, right? But I'm gonna go with someone who's not on this list. I'm gonna go with Ty Johnson.
Ooh,
I like that.
I like that. He showed flashes at the end of last year. Some people will argue that he was the guy at the end of last year. So I think there is a slight. I think we definitely see Michael Carter be the guy later on in the year, but for the purposes of this mock, there's no reason why Ty Johnson can't get me some nice games early on while Carter's still getting settled in there.
Yep, it's a good call there. And somehow we messed the numbers up, but we should be on the last pick because Chris started this off there. So we're at the 212, even though I've been calling out the wrong number this whole time. So, Chris, 212, what you got here to end us off?
Well, I'm going to go with Denzel Mims, a guy that I was thrilled the Jets got last year. I know we think last year he didn't have a great year. He was hurt, missed some time, and we kind of forget about these guys real quick. But at the 212 in this rough division, he's not a bad get at this time.
Yeah, no, I agree. I actually do like Mims, and he's kind of fallen out of favor there, but there's no reason to think that he can't, work himself back into there. It's a very, very, very young team, and we don't know what they're going to look like this year. So Mims has as much upside as anybody else. So
he does. And with receivers like him, you always have to look for the guy who does something that nobody else in that team does.
Yep.
And he's legit deep threat. Mm-hmm. Like, he's a true burner on the outside, and he's the only one there, so he's going to be on the field.
Yep.
Yeah,
good
let's
stuff.
hope Zach Wilson comes to sign soon, and we can have him out there together.
Yeah, y'all have a problem signing quarterbacks that y'all drafted in the first round, it seems.
Yeah,
Didn't this happen with Dalton, too? Yeah. All right, it is time for our most popular segment.
Get ready for GoingFor2.com's Forgotten Fantasy Player of the Week.
All right, Chris, we will go to you first. Give me your Forgotten Fantasy Player of the Week.
It was nice going down memory lane today, going over this guy, but my guy is Darren Sproles.
Nice. Give us some stats on Sproles.
So in 2011, I've been commissioner of my home league since 2006, but 2011 we switched over to a keeper league, and he wasn't even drafted. I must have added him as a free agent, and he put up, I think it was 1,300 yards, like 8 touchdowns. He finished as the running back 5.
Wow.
And I won the championship in that season. I'll never forget. It was like week 16, a Monday night game against Atlanta when they're up. I don't know, they're up like 35-13, and they have no business throwing the football in the red zone. But Drew Brees threw one to Sproles, and he caught a touchdown pass and made me win my championship. So, and I kept him for a year or two after that. I just could not let him go. So it was Darren Sproles. I was a big fan of his for a couple of years back then.
Good stuff. Yeah, he was a big producer. I know people kind of remember his last couple of years there where he was just more of a special teams player. He was kind of the guy that you got pissed was in the lineup because then your guy wasn't in there. But, he had some really, really big years there, quite a few in a row, actually, with the Saints.
Yeah,
we loved
seasons.
him in Philly.
We
loved him in Philly.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah,
I feel like everybody loved him.
Yeah, Darren Sproles.
I've never heard somebody say something bad about Darren Sproles.
Yeah.
He wasn't even bad when he was in the league.
No.
Right.
But my guy's a little bit sadder, and he doesn't really have a long fantasy history because he's only remembered for one game, and this guy's Jonas Gray.
Oh yeah,
We all
Jonas
remember
Gray.
7 years ago in November when he rushed for 201 yards and 4 touchdowns against the who was it? I want to say it was over the Colts. And then he overslept for practice the next week, and
he was done.
he was never heard from again. But I will say that somehow Jonas Gray managed to be on my roster that week. I guess I picked him up in waivers in a league, and he literally gave me the win in that league that week.
That's pretty awesome because people had him on their roster. They didn't start him, so you started him. That's pretty bold.
I had to. That was a year that I was getting really crushed by injuries. It was middle of November. I mean, things just looked bleak, and I was like holding on to a playoff spot. I don't think I ended up making the playoffs in that league, but I think I made a valiant charge. That game tried to turn the corner for me, but it was really sad that he never managed to get anything going ever again. I mean, I guess everyone really saw that as just a one-time thing. And I would pick him up here and there over the next few months and maybe a year later, but nothing ever happened, and he would always get dropped.
Yeah, so when we always talk about one-hit wonders, we think of a season, but this guy was a legit one-game wonder. Yeah, that was it. That's all he did.
That's one of the more astounding names we've heard in a while.
Yeah, that was
random.
That was a good one.
It's out there. It's out there.
Good stuff. All right, guys, that wraps up the podcast. We'll go around the room here. Give me your Twitter handle, anything you might be working on or you want to plug. Chris, we'll go to you first.
Yeah, find me on Twitter at the CommishFF. I know I have my love for Austin Eckler player outlook coming out on goingfor2.com on Friday. I do have an article coming out next week on teamriserfall.com as well. And then, I know the upcoming season I'll be co-hosting the Dynasty Gambit on Thursday nights at 7 o'clock for Going for 2 Live. So I'm looking forward to that. So catch me there in a few weeks.
Good stuff. Sam, what you got going on?
Yeah, so like I said earlier, got a nice player spotlight on Keenan Allen coming out for Football Guys. I believe might be later this week, might be sometime next week. Haven't really cleared that up, but working on some cool stuff over at Ball Blast. I'll be ready to announce in the next week or two as soon as we knock everything down. That going to be doing some nice video content for them going into the season. So I'm really hyped about that.
Good stuff. Ryan, what you got going on?
Obviously, find me here every Wednesday night, and then find me over at the Sports Illustrated Draft Bible. We're doing our projection series, so we're going through more division previews, but we're doing full projections on all 32 teams.
Good stuff. So I want to plug something. I got to stand up, though, and get it. I've done a terrible job promoting this summer, but we have our DFS charity contest that we do every year. I did get the belt. This is the belt for the charity contest that we are running. If you want to sign up, it's a DFS contest. It's literally just 1 week. It's week 1. We do a GPP style tournament. Whoever signs up, it's free to get into the tournament. We just ask that you donate. It's not even mandatory, but we just ask that you would, $5, whatever you want to put in there. If you want to sign up, just go to goingfor2.com/grinder21. It's the Grinders Championship, so it's easy to remember. It's on DraftKings, so if you play DraftKings and you want to get into a good tournament, join up. We had an awesome time last year doing this, so please goingfor2.com/grinder21. Of course, I'm Jeff, and you can find me on Twitter at JeffLambert77. For Sam, for Chris, for Ryan, that's a wrap.